Saludos, hola, hi everyone. I'm Raquel Ortiz, and today I'm going to be talking to you all about stories and storytelling. So first, primerísimo, I want to thank the Brooklyn Public Library for inviting me to share with you all. And I'd also like to share with everyone what we're going to do today. So we're going to do 4 things. So first, I'm going to share with you all the technique of Kamishibai. So it's a Japanese storytelling technique, and we're going to learn a little bit about it. Second thing, I'm going to talk with you all about my book that I have right here. So we have Broken Butterfly Wings, ALITAS Rotas, in a bilingual children's book. Third, I'm going to share with you a beautiful song that we composed inspired by this story. And number 4, we're going to do an activity. So we're going to make something based on my book so that you can all share with me this storytelling technique. So I hope everyone's ready, and let's start. So I brought something really beautiful and really special for you all. And this is one of the pieces that we need for the Kamishibai. And Kamishibai, we can break it into 2 words. Kami is paper and shibai is theater. This actually happens to be a batai. So this is where all the magic happens. And this, as beautiful and as magical as it is really a box. It's a box that's full of wonderful, wonderful different sheets that tell a story. So before I open the box is beautiful. I'm going to first start with showing you one of the panels. So what we do is we take a story and we have the image, so you have the visual, and then on the back we have the words, so that lets everyone be able to read the story and share the story with us. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at our batai, and I'm going to share with you some of the features. So we open it up very carefully, very slowly. We put the top up, and then just like in a theater, we open 1, 2 doors. So what I did with this one is I put in a couple of stories from a friend of mine. So in a few minutes, I'm going to share a little bit of those, and then we'll talk about my story. The Kamishibai was born around 1929. It was born in Japan, and it's influenced by a number of different Japanese techniques of storytelling. One of the big ones is scrolls. So they would do words and pictures on long fabrics and little by little roll them out, and they would go from left to right, which you're going to see in some of the Kamishibai as well. So it was done by men usually, and they would take these theaters everywhere. They'd be on bikes, and they'd share these stories with children and with families. And what they would do first is they would sell candy, and then they would bring the crowd together, and then they would tell a story. One of the things when we look at the stories they told is they told a lot of folk tales. I want to share with you a couple folk tales that a friend of mine wrote and some beautiful art that she made. Then we're going to talk about my story, and we're going to do my book reading. So I have 3 different stories, and the first one is La gallinita colora colora y las semillas misteriosas, and it's written and illustrated by Tere Marichal. And always when we have Kamishibai, you always start with recognizing the author and the illustrator. So we're going to show you La Gallina, or the little chicken, and just show you a couple pieces of the art that were made for it. We have La Gallina having all these songs, and then we have La Gallina with a number of her friends. And this is a little bit different because in Kamishibai usually it's just the pictures. You usually don't see any words. But today I brought one real special one. And so with this one, she gave us the names to all of the characters in the story. So the first animal right here is Celia, everyone, Celia. Then we have Constancia, everyone, Constancia. Gandulfo, Gandulfo, Otilia, Valentina, and guys, the next story, to just give you a little taste, is about a folklore that's very well known in Puerto Rico. Tere made her own adaptation of it, and it is called La Cucarachita Martina y el Huracán. So, Cucarachita Martina and the hurricane. So, we see images of Cucarachita Martina with raindrops, and we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 raindrops. In Spanish, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 gotas de lluvia. And then on the next one, we have Martina with a paraguas, with a umbrella. And we have more raindrops. Let's see how many we have. Let's start in Spanish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And in English, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, thank you for counting with me. And then this last piece, we have a number of Cucarachita Martina's friend. And for anyone that knows the story, we have Ratoncito Perez right here. So this is the group of friends that help her to figure out what to do during the storm and after the hurricane. The last one I wanted to share is a folktale about Juan Gandules and his vaca, or his cow. So La Vaca de Juan Gandules is the cow of Juan Gandules. And when we look at these pieces, the first person we get to meet is Juan. And then, of course, the next person we get to meet is the vaca, or the cow. So those are two more characters that we have in that book. So my book, like I shared with y'all before, is Broken Butterfly Wings. Everyone, Broken Butterfly Wings. And in Spanish, Alas de Mariposa Rotas. Alas de Mariposa Rotas. And we have one main character, and her name is Gabriela. And I'm gonna show her to you with the activity we're gonna do. So you all are gonna get a chance to make Gabriela, and you're gonna make her into a stick puppet. And what happens with Gabriela is she receives a pair of wings. The wings look a little something like this. So she gets some beautiful big butterfly wings. And when you have wings, what do you want to do? Gabriela wants to fly. So we're gonna talk about her flapping and flapping and flapping her wings. So another one of the puppets that you're gonna make with us today are the wings. And we're gonna talk a little bit about butterflies today. So those are the two pieces with the Broken Butterfly Wings story. And what I wanted to do was to share with you all some of the inspiration for the stories. So I was thinking about the rainforest in Puerto Rico, El Yunque, everybody, El Yunque, Yunque. And El Yunque is in a place in Puerto Rico called Luquillo, everyone, Luquillo. So I was thinking about how the different senses that we use. So if we look at Gabriela, we have her eyes and what she saw. So everyone touch your eyes. Eyes are ojos in Spanish. Everybody, ojos. Gabriela also has the sense of smell. So touch your nose. Toca la nariz. Everybody, nariz. Gabriela could hear things. Let's talk about what we use to hear. We use our ears. So everyone, touch las orejas. I know you can't see it, but Gabriela, for taste, would use her tongue. So, la lengua. So everyone can show me their tongue. And then this one is just the head of Gabriela, but we use the sense of touch to learn things. So, do me a favor and wiggle your fingers. So, son los deditos. Okay? So, those are the 5 of the senses that I used when I was thinking about writing this story. And with the sound, the sense of sound, what I decided to do was to focus on some of the animals in Puerto Rico and what kind of sounds they made. So one of the animals that I wanted to share with all of you today is the Puerto Rican parrot. okay? And in Puerto Rico, it's called cotorra. So la cotorra puertorriqueña. So I'd like everyone at home to make the sound of what you think a parrot would make. And I've shared with this many children before, and I usually hear so you can make a little chattering sound. You don't have to, but you could use your fingers to make it as well. I don't know why we use our fingers when we make a sound, but hey. so would be the sound of the Puerto Rican parrot. And then the other animal that I'm going to share with you all today is a tree frog. And in Puerto Rico, we call this tree frog a coqui. And the coqui makes the sound that it's named after. So everyone, coqui. Again, coqui. And when you go to Puerto Rico, you're going to hear them and they go over and over and over. So let's hear it a couple times. Coqui, 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 coqui. Those are some of the animals that we're doing. And we're going to also hear bees. So when you hear a bee, we make a buzzing sound. Zzz. There's going to be, I'm going to mention owls. So the owls make the hoo, hoo, hoo sound. Yes. And then we have the big star in the story is the waterfall. So if you can imagine lots and lots of water rushing down, you can do a shh sound. And you can actually do the sound and do the movement as well when I talk about the waterfalls. So let's all try. All the way on top, we take the water all the way down. Shh. So the waterfalls or the cascadas. Okay, one last time. Shh. So one other piece of information about Kamishibai is that the readers would call the audience. So in Japan, they use 2 blocks to call the people together so they could come to hear the Kamishibai. But I'm from Puerto Rico, so my mentor told me instead of using 2 blocks, you can use the pilon. So we have a motor and we have the wood, so you go like this. And you bring everyone together. Okay? And then, like I mentioned, they would sell candy before they told the story. So I can't give it to you, but I want to show you my favorite candy. So when I do stories, I give out pieces of ajonjoli. So this is sesame with honey. So that's the ajonjoli story. And then lastly, in Puerto Rico, they say some words right before they say the story. So I say prukuta, prukuta, and you say cuéntamelo ya. I'm saying prukuta, prukuta, and you're saying cuéntamelo ya. Tell me the story now. So let's try it one time. Prukuta, prukuta. Prukuta, prukuta. Okay, so let's all get ready to listen to Broken Butterfly Wings. So before we do the reading, I want to share with you all the song that we made inspired by the book. And the song is called ALITAS ROTAS, and it's about a butterfly. So I'm going to share the lyrics, I'm going to say them, and then you repeat them. And then I'm going to explain them to you, and then we're going to sing them together, and then we'll put the music on for us. So the first line is mariposa quiere bailar. Mariposa quiere bailar. Mariposa quiere gozar. Mariposa quiere gozar. Mariposa, quédate aquí. Mariposa, quédate aquí. Mariposa shows me to be free. Mariposa shows me to be free. So, and it is saying that Mariposa wants to dance. Mariposa wants to have a good time. Butterfly, I want to keep you here. And that the butterfly shows us how to be free. Okay, so we're going to do it one time a cappella. So we're just going to, I'm going to sing and then you're going to sing. And then we're going to put the music on and you're going to sing along with the music. So here we go. Everyone ready? 1, 2, 3. Mariposa quiere bailar. Mariposa quiere bailar. Mariposa quiere gozar. Mariposa quiere gozar. Mariposa, quédate aquí. Mariposa, Mariposa, quédate aquí. Mariposa shows me to be free. Mariposa shows me to be free. Okay, great. I think you guys did a really good job. And now we're going to try it with the music. Broken butterfly wings, alas de mariposa rotas. Gabriela had been waiting and waiting and waiting for the mail to come. Ding dong, it's the mailman. I'll get it, yelled Gabriela, dashing to the door. The mailman handed Gabriela a big box. Titi Sylvia's gift had finally arrived. Gabriela ran up with it to her bedroom. She pulled out a pair of colorful, glittery butterfly wings. They're beautiful. Gabriela went to admire herself in the mirror. I love them. Gabriela decided she needed to try out her new wings. Standing in the middle of her bedroom, she began flapping her arms up and down, but nothing happened. So she climbed up onto her bed, bounced up and down, flapping and flapping. But nothing happened. So she hopped down the hallway, flapping her arms. Still, nothing happened. So she sped down to the front porch and jumped off, flapping and flapping, and something happened. She fell. Ouch. Super sore, Gabriela grumbled. These wacky wings won't work. She was devastated. She thought and thought, how can I get these wings to fly? I know, she exclaimed, and got up with a smile. Papa found Gabriela in the garage, banging around his toolbox. A set of the biggest, most beautiful butterfly wings he had ever seen were on the floor. But there was a scowl on Gabriela's face, and her ponies were all puffy and out of place. Gabby, what are you doing? I have to fix my wings, Papa. Fix your wings? Yes, I'm going to add a battery, said Gabriela. Or maybe an engine. What's wrong with them? They won't work. They look good to me. No, Papa, look harder. They're broken. I flap, and they don't lift me off the ground. Papa scooped Gabriela up and carried her out to the patio. Sitting on the swing, Papa asked Gabriela where she wanted to fly. I know the perfect place, Papa. I want to go back to the rainforest in Puerto Rico. What do you remember about El Yunque, Gabby? Gabby closed her eyes. It's full of millions of tall green trees. There are so many that you can barely see the sky. And when you walk down the paths in the shade, the sun peeks in and you can see bits and pieces of sunshine on the ground. What else, Gabby? Oh, there are lots of plants everywhere. And they wiggle and jiggle with all the little animals and insects crawling all around them. Do we remember how El Yunque smells? Asked Papa. Gabriela inhaled deeply. Smells like plants and water, and it's hot and humid. It's so hot that it makes me all sticky and sweaty. Do you remember what El Yunque sounds like? Asked Papa. Oh, it's super noisy. Bees buzzing, birds tweeting, owls screeching, parrots chattering, and teeny tiny tree frogs singing cookie, 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 all over the place. And if you're lucky, you can see one climbing up a tree. Do you remember anything else? Waterfalls. I can still hear them splashing and humming and spraying water into the air. That's right. I love the waterfalls. And they have names, Papa. I remember they were called La Coca, La Mina, and Juan Diego. La Coca's the biggest. It's magnificent. Okay, Gabby, let's try this. Close your eyes and think about the rainforest. Now, spread your wings wide. Gabriela took a deep breath and opened her colorful, glittery, big, beautiful butterfly wings really, really wide. And then Gabriela began to soar. Thank you all for listening to the story with me and for helping me tell this story. Now we're going to make the puppets that I shared with you. So we're going to make Gabriela, and we're going to make a butterfly, una mariposa. So you can use whatever materials you have at home. You can use crayons, you can use colored pencils. If you're lucky and you have a whole bunch like I do, you could use some markers. And what you're going to need, besides what you can use to color with, you're going to need scissors, and you or a grown-up are going to cut them out. You're going to need glue, and you can either use glue or you can use a glue stick, or if you like, you can use tape. So we have all kinds of options. So whatever you have at home is good. And what we're gonna do, and then we're gonna get some sticks, and we're gonna color it. We're gonna cut it out, and we're gonna attach it. So whoever was able to print out the handout, we have the face of Gabriela. We have two faces, and we have the butterfly. So first I'm gonna start coloring one with you, and then for people at home that weren't able to print it out, we have another option of how you can draw, and you can also join us. And I'm gonna use coloring pencils, and I'm just going to copy the color that we used for this butterfly, this mariposa. And I'm gonna start with the middle. And I think everyone knows it doesn't matter how good you color it, just as long as we're having a good time making it. And can you move it up a little bit? So when I'm coloring this, just thinking a little bit of different places I would like to go to if I had wings. So if you remember the story of Gabriela, she spoke about her favorite place. Does anyone remember her favorite place? Her favorite place was the rainforest, and it's called El Yunque, and it's on the island of Puerto Rico. I'd like you all to think of your favorite place and where you might like to go back to. Or you can think of places that you've read about, places that you've seen movies or a TV show about, or that you found out about in a book, and how you'd like to go visit that place. And maybe why you'd like to visit that place. And so we have this. I'm gonna do 2 pieces for this wing, and I'm filling them all the same color, but you should feel free to be as creative as you want to be. You can use different colors if you want. You can make patterns with them. You can do squiggly, you can do circles, boxes, whatever you like. And I am trying to stay in the lines, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. I'm trying to make, I have a daughter and a son, and I like to make them proud and show them that I can do neat work when I'm coloring. But sometimes my coloring isn't very neat, and that's okay. And especially for this project, afterwards you cut it out. So if you don't color in the lines, it's not a big deal. We can fix it. And so just gonna do this first one so that I'm coloring with you. So everyone at home, once again, who has it, they are joining me. Anyone at home that doesn't have this printout, please get 1 or 2 pieces of paper, and I'm going to share with you ways that you can make the activities with us. So we're coloring, we're going around, and like I said, we're thinking about places we can go. And maybe because of what we talked about today, maybe you want to go to Japan. Maybe you want to see a Kamishibai reading by someone done in Japan. Or because of all that we've talked about with Puerto Rico, maybe you want to go to Puerto Rico and you want to hear a Kamishibai in Puerto Rico. But there's people that practice this kind of reading on the island as well. But you can pick wherever you want to go. And then, like I shared, there's storytelling traditions everywhere. So I spoke about the storytelling tradition in Jamaica, but everywhere in the world, you can use your wings, you can fly there. So for anyone that wasn't able to print out the butterfly, we're going to start with the butterfly. I'm going to give you some tips on how you could draw one. So you can do it freehand, and we'll do that. First, we'll do it really quick freehand. So we just take maybe like a little square in the middle. And then if you think of the butterfly, it's a bee. So you can just do one side over here, and then you try and do the same on the other side. Okay, so you have the bee, and then you have it flipped over, right? Not hard. And that looks pretty okay. And you just color it and cut it out and attach it like everyone is doing that has the handout. If you don't want to try and do it freehand, what you can do is you can find something, maybe a ruler, right? Or a very small rectangular object, and you hold it down and you just trace around there. Okay, and this one, got lucky, it has the round edge, so it could look like a caterpillar. And then I'm using 2 different circles. So I put one circle here and then the other circle on top, and then you just go around and you trace it. And if you mess up, it's okay because we have erasers. So that's one side. Oh, and I messed up, and that's okay. So you just smooth it out a little bit and smooth it out a little bit here. And then we can do the same for the other side. So whichever circles you have, if you have jars, if you have tape, just put them on. And there you go. And you have a little butterfly. And with this one, I'm just gonna wipe off where I smoothed it, and this I'm gonna take it all off, and I'm going to connect it a little bit. So this is one example of what you can do as far as the butterfly is concerned. So now with Gabriela, she also is made up of lots of circles. So when you look at her, she's got a nice round face. So once again, we take the circle and we go around and we take it. And my circle isn't perfect, so we're gonna get little bumps, and we'll smooth them out afterwards. And then her hair is a piece of a circle, so you can take that circle again and you trace it over. You can take it over this way, so kind of like a little bit of a moon. Okay, and then I'm just going to draw this all by myself, but she has glasses, so there's more circles. So we have one glass and then another glass, and then you can just connect them and you put them to the side, and you get a little bit for one ear and a little piece of another ear. And then it would work a little bit better if I wasn't sideways, but you give her these great little ponytails. All right, so, and they can be a little bit messy because remember in the story, she wasn't having a good day. and her ponytails got a little bit messy. So, and then if you want it to look a little more like the handout, you just erase what we used for the ears. And like I said, a lot of this is based on circles. So the ears are, I got oval. Okay, the glasses are circles. Her nose, you can free draw it by yourself. And then even the mouth, you can use the circle if you want again. And you can use a smaller one. And you just connect it a little bit. So we have a big circle, a piece of a circle for the hair, two more circles for the eyes, little circles for the ears, and then the ponytails are the ones that are not really based on circles, but you know, you just have fun with that. I would say down and up, and then you connect it. Okay, so if you want to give her ponytails, if not, you can just have her with all her hair pulled back. That's okay.
You forgot her little moños.
These are the moños. Oh. And then on top, you can color in what's holding her ponytails on top, which is one more circle. So, okay. All right, so that's one example of how you can do a drawing of Gabriela, so you can join us if you didn't get the printouts. Okay, so we've gone over how you can draw them. Everyone is finishing up their drawing and their coloring. So I'm just gonna walk you through making one of the puppets because it's the same for either puppet. So you would need a stick. So I have some craft sticks. If you don't have a craft stick, just take a pencil and put them on a pencil. And you're gonna take what you colored and you're gonna cut them out. And so you or an adult can help you. So you just go around and you're careful, or your adult is careful not to hurt themselves. So for both of these puppets, that's what we did, is we gave you the same image 2 times and colored them both, cut them both, and then you assemble them. So that's the first one. The second one I didn't color because I was too busy drawing with some of you, but you you can use your imagination to imagine just how beautiful it could have been if we were able to color this like so. Instead, you go all around, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Go around the edges, and then take. Today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the tape. So, you take the two pieces and you have to make sure that they match up. So, for the butterfly, the big piece on top and the little piece on the bottom. It doesn't have any color. I'm going to take some tape, about a half an inch, piece like that. Roll it up. Stick about an inch and a half so that it's nice and sturdy and it's in the middle. Okay, so it's not going to fall off. Take some more tape, put it down, and that piece is too small, so make sure you have enough tape. An inch and a half, about this big, put it on the side. And then with the glue, I'm going to put it on both pieces, because if you just put the other tape on, it's going to flop around and it'll make it a little bit messy. So, using the glue stick, and you can just do it on one of the pieces. You can put it all over, get to the edge, make sure there's some in the middle. Make sure there's some on the edge. If you're using liquid glue, be careful because it can get really messy. So put it on. You put a little bit on the other one as well. Make sure you're putting things on the edges. And then before you put them together, you need to put more glue. Tape because it makes it secure. Roll up that piece. Run up that piece, roll up that piece, put it on the stick. And then you match the two. So then you just press down on the stick, and you press down on the edges. And then if you need to, you just go in and you add a little bit more. Just remember, if you're using the liquid, don't go too crazy because then it'll drip all over the place. And here you have this one. So now we have another. So you have a whole bunch of butterflies, and you would do the very same thing with Gabriela. Okay, and someone to help you with the blank count. Okay, so we have Gabriela here, and we have the butterflies here. Alright, so I hope you all enjoyed making Gabriela and making the butterfly, the mariposa with me. I hope you enjoyed the Kamishibai reading of Broken Butterfly Wings. I hope you enjoyed learning about the Japanese storytelling technique of Kamishibai. And I hope you liked our song. So thank you, Brooklyn Public Library, for inviting me to share with you all. And I just want to end with our beautiful song. So please join me singing along. Adios. Gracias.